Welcome to the Educare Finance Module User Guide. In this video, I will guide you through everything you need to know to effectively manage financial transactions in Educare. Let's take a quick look at the interface and features of the module before diving deeper. To get started, first log in using your login credentials, usually your email address and password. Once logged in, you will be presented with a user-friendly dashboard. The dashboard presents a navigation menu on the left pane. Click on Finance Module to access the main activities of the module, starting from Setup menus through Management and Operations and ending with Reports menu. So the setup schema starts off with the chart of accounts. And when we talk about chart of accounts, we are relating to all the account heads that you use as a company to manage your company business. And we have some that we call statutory accounts, things like accounts receivable, sales, cash, inventory, income tax, owner's investment, retained earnings, petty cash, and so on and so forth. You identify them with the fact that they don't have delete buttons, which means you cannot delete them from the system, but you can always edit their names according to your needs. Now, for you to have this chart of accounts properly identified, it requires account name and account code. Of course, you can always group it according to the account type. For instance, you can have all your assets or all your cost of sales or paid in capital. You can have different account type accounts under them, and the system will still take cognizance of that. Now, to give you an example, to give you insight as to what determines which of these chart of account to make an entry into, let's look at the various account heads that we have and how to use them in a double entry system, as our system is actually a double entry accounting system. So let's look at them. The first one is the assets. Asset is a debit account because it's increased by a debit transaction or a debit entry. Expenses, the same thing, a debit account because it's increased by a debit entry. Liabilities, equity, and revenue or income are credit accounts because they are increased by credit entry. So in a double entry, any any um, entry, any post, any debit post to asset will increase the value of the asset, and any credit post to liability will increase your liability. Moving on, how do you create an account group? Account group is created by going to Account Types tab and then clicking on the button at the top right to initialize the account. For example, let's say I want to create office expenses holder or group. I will simply type office expense or expenses and then initialize it. Upon initialization, you can see it right here at the very last part of the page. Just click edit in order to switch to add the account head it belongs to. We named it office expenses. Automatically, we already have an idea that it belongs to expenditure account head. Then we need to also give it a code range. Code range is the account code with within which the account, any chart of account that belongs to this account group is banded. So most of the time, you may most likely give it the same account code as whatever parent you want to attach it to. For example, right now, I know that within this system, we already have expenses account group. So if I'm bringing in office expenses, I'm most likely to attach it to a parent, the expense parent. So with that, if I save this, I expect it to be a sub account under the expense account group, which is the reason I am giving it the same code range. This code range is open to your discretion. You can choose the code range by yourself. I mean, based on your system, anyways. So, with that, we have the sub account office expenses created. If we want to detach it and make it a standalone, that is a parent of its own, all we need to do is click on the orange X button there to detach. And if you look at this, you will see it again back to number 17. So right now I want it to remain under the parent. So I'm going to push it back to expenses, and of course we'll find it right here. That is the first step. The second one is to now create the chart of accounts that belong to that group. For example, let's say I want entertainment. There might already be entertainment here, like meals and entertainment. It's not a problem. If you want to delete it, you are free. If you want to edit it, you're free. But let's say that these meals and entertainment, I want to push it to the office expenses that I just created now so that I don't have it directly under expense. I'll simply come on over here and change it to office expenses group. And then, of course, that means that I will have to start changing the code because office expenses group has 530000 as the beginning. So, right here, we have changed the meals and entertainment to belong to office expenses. If we want to add a different one, that's a different if you want to add a different chart of account, however, apart from being able to edit, just the same top right, click on the plus button and then enter the account name of interest. For instance, I want to make this guest entertainment, which is different from the maybe the office entertainment, for instance. So here again, the group, you see the expenses directly, but we are interested in office expenses still. And now we have already used 53000. So if I try to bring it in again, it tells you the code exists. And the minimum range is 5300. So now I have to choose 53001 or 2, depending on the one that is available. Now you click on save, and meals and entertainment will be separated from guest entertainment. That's it. So with this now, I already have two different entertainment schema that is attached to office expenses. So if I go for the account type office expenses right here, I can see that two different chart of accounts are attached to it. So that is how to create a chart of account within Educare Finance module. So from the chart of accounts, we move over to account numbers. With account numbers, you record your NUBAN, that is your unified bank account number. And to create it, you can just click on the blue button at the top right here, that is the plus button here, and then select bank. To select bank, you can use the search box to key in the bank of interest and then select the currency. Our system currently supports Naira, Dollar, Pounds, Yen, Franc, and Euro. And then select the currency and then key in the NUBAN, the 10-digit account number. For instance, 101 4749668. One thing you notice immediately is that the moment your number is complete, the system will start the verification process. And if your account number is valid, it will get you the account name that owns that account number. Then from there, proceed to enter your bank name alias. This is a very important part because with this, you decide exactly the difference between one account number and the other within the same bank. All right. So now this is bank name alias. So I can call it ZBN Entertainment, meaning I want to everything that I want to do in terms of entertainment expense, I want it to come from Zenith Bank, this particular Zenith Bank account, for example. Yes. And then you proceed to select your chart of accounts. That is the ledger that you want this particular account to be specified under. However, if the chart of account in question is already in existence, you can pick it up from the drop down. For instance, I can see it here. But if it's not, then you don't have to select anyone here. The system will automatically use the Zenith Bank account, that's the account, the a bank name, and the NUBAN to create a chart of account for you within the chart of account premises. Now, the next one is whether you want it to show up within the POS point of sales or not. If you don't want it to show up in point of sales, that means you don't want your point of sales agents or sales personnel managers to use this account number when they are processing checkout from point of sales. If that's the case, select no, then click on plus. That is the add button at the bottom right. And that's it. The system will add CBN Entertainment to the list of your accounts. Of course, there is a quick note here that if your system is already switch app enabled, then any bank account used as wallet account will automatically be marked to be settled to wallet. The idea is that your wallet account, right, will always settle to your switch app wallet. That's as simple as that. But any other one, you can choose where you want it to settle to. So, for instance, I may want these expenses to settle to wallet directly by just toggling here under Settle to tab. You can choose whether you want it to settle directly to the Nuban or you want it to be settled to your wallet as a balance. Now, the next very important part is to set your opening balance. The opening balance enables the system to start on a fresh note whenever you create it. So this is me setting 200,500 as the balance that I am bringing in as owner's equity or capital, right? For this particular account number as I'm creating it. The toggle here enables you to maintain current balance or not, especially for those who already have current balance like this. If I want to create a new current balance right now, a new opening balance, and I say no for this particular account, the system will automatically redirect this to take this opening balance as its current balance. Then, of course, the system also allows you to key in your opening balance date and save. So, with this, the system will automatically realize that, I mean, within the ledger, that's when you go over to reporting parts and you check your ledger, you will see that the account, the GT Bank account has received a debit of this 200,000 naira, while the interest capitalized, that, or rather, while the equity, the owner's equity has received a credit of the same amount, thereby covering the two entry pro forma. So for discount setup, the idea here is to create discounts that you can attach to invoices, especially students' invoices, either before or after the invoice has been created. That's how this guy works. That's how this management of, discount setup works. Right now, we are looking at a situation where you want to create a kind of discount, maybe let's say 20, 50% discount on a termly fee, for instance. And you create it and then you attach it to students. You decide how many times that student is going to use it. For instance, if you want to give out a 1 year discount, 20, 30% discount, you want to give it three consecutive usages, which means for the next three invoices that you are going to raise for this particular child under school fees, for instance, you are going to make use of these discounts, or these discounts should apply to such invoices. That's the first part. The second usage will be where you have already created the invoice, and then that is where the invoice precedes the discount creation. It's still not a problem. You can always create the discount afterwards, after you've generated the invoice, and it will still work. So, but first of all, this place is for the discount setup. So let's see how exactly this setup can be achieved. The first things first, The discount list is on the first tab, and all you have to do to create a new one is just click on new discount type, which activates the box right, I mean, the very last row on the list. So, what is the title of the discount? You can simply say 30% discount on tuition. That's a specific discount that you want to give. And then which account head do you want that discount to apply to? It's very, very important. The list of this account head is coming from the account setup that we gave at this point in the account heads pro forma, where we listed the account heads that we are interested in: school fees account, store and uniform, school wallet, and every one of them. And that is where we are getting this list from. So this is the list now. The account head, first of all, the we said 30% on tuition, and then we decide the account head we want to apply it to. Let's say school fees discount, school fees account. Let's even include something that has to do with the primary school students exactly specifically. So if we have primary school students specifically, they are the ones that we want this discount to go to. So anytime we raise an invoice under this primary fees account head, anybody who we attach this discount to will receive a 30% discount. Where do we decide whether it is on tuition or the whole invoice? This is it. So it's either you declare it as an invoice scope discount, which means all the items in the invoice, their total or the grand total, yeah, the subtotal of all the items in the invoice will be affected or affected by this particular discount. But if you say in item scope, then that means you are interested in a particular item, and this is the list of all the items that you find in that particular primary fees. So it only contains school fees, so you want to attach it to school fees. However, you can also decide if you want to, moreover, you can also decide if you want to have an exact fee kind of discount or percentage kind of discount. And all it requires is for you to toggle it right here. You want exact fee, which means whatever you enter here, 200,000, that's what the system will remove. Or you want percentage, in which case you declare the 30%. In our own context, we are looking for 30% discount. So this has to be a percentage discount type, and then the unit is 30, which means 30%. Then we simply click on the save button here to create that discount pro forma. And we can do this for as many discounts as we are interested in creating. So here we have it. Number one, we can create 40% discount, we can create 80% discount, even 100% discount, which means scholarship, right? Full scholarship for a particular child in the school. Now, if we look at the list, the table that contains the discount that we have set up right now, we see that no student has been linked to this discount and it has not been used. If we want to see the details, we can just click on this and it will show us the details. The details usually is the list of students who have used it and their current um, schema. Now, if you click on link, that is the items that have been, this shows you the items that were linked to that particular discount. In this context, it's just school fees. It could be linked to several other items, which means as many items as were found in a singular invoice that is attached to this particular discount, the system will imply this discount on them. Later on, when we go over to management of the invoices, we will see how this implies. Right now, all I want to do is to link it to just one student who should be in primary school, by the way, because this is a primary school account head discount. So the second tab here, link discounts, is used to apply a particular discount to a particular student or list of students. So here we have list of schools that we are targeting, and our interest is in primary school. So the system gives us the list of all the students that are currently in primary school. There are 727. I can even go down to select a particular discount of interest and then filter the students of interest. Do I want day students? I filter them right here. Or do I want full border students? I filter them here. Of course, when you select full border, you see no primary school student is a border. Therefore, there is nobody there. But if you select not applicable or full day, then you see all the list. You can even go further to select that to highlight that you want it to apply to only the male students or to the female students. The system will, of course, give you only the list of students who are male or female, respectively. That's not our interest at the moment. The next one that you can apply is, do you want to apply it to only last children? For instance, where a child has siblings in the same school, do you want to apply it to last child? That's what we call last child discount. If that's your case, again, you say yes here, and the system will give you a list of all the last children in the system. That is all the children who have sibling, and among whom they are the last born or the last to enter the school. That is it. Now, if you want to apply to last child only, that's how you use it. The next thing you want to set up in this context now is maximum usage. Remember when I said that if you want, this is called the discount lifespan. That is the maximum usage of this particular discount for this particular child or children in question. Now, we want to create this and we want it to last for a session. A session usually is comprised of three terms. Therefore, here I will simply enter three usages, which means if I generate the very first three invoices for the first three terms from the moment this discount is implied, we will receive this discount, after which the system will stop giving that discount. That's how it works. As simple as that. Now, even though we have done all this filter, we can apply this discount to the number we see here outrightly, which means based on this filter, we have 8 students who we can link automatically to this 30% discount on tuition. If we still don't want to apply it to all of them, maybe we are interested in a particular child, then we can open the list and select the child in question, maybe by typing the name right there. I can see Darashimi and I just click on it, which means out of the eight, I'm only interested in Omoyela. And then I can just click on link discount. At this point, one student was successfully linked to the discount. That's all you receive and your job is done. So from here on, when invoice is generated for Omoyala amongst other students, Moyola alone will receive this discount. You can see now it has one student linked. And if we view details, we'll see the child in question. Currently, three usages and none of them have been used, therefore, it is still available. If we made a mistake and we want to remove the child or a child from the discount, we simply come to this place and click on delete. But we don't want to delete that for now, so we just leave it there. And this is as simple as it gets in setting up a discount.